What's up, people? We're back. Miami Dolphins training camp day 4 basically just ended. Lots of, this one's open to the public, so we got some videos that we can look at today with things that happened. First, we can start with some of the news. Dolphins this morning signed Jack Jones. Looks like that's the veteran corner they're going for. Kind of move on from the Rasul Douglas thing. Very interesting signing, kind of a low risk, but potential high reward. I think, it seems like it's an incentives-based deal from what I had seen. Still haven't seen any full details yet. Some off-field potential stuff with him, maturity issues. That's kind of where he's one of the guys that I could see coming in and starting, but also he's one of the players that I could see getting cut just because of the off-field things. But I did make a film breakdown on him. It will be out right after this stream, so I'll go into more in depth there. Other things that came in with this is some injuries today. So, the main one being Kader Kohou. Apparently, Kohou, he walked off under his own power, so we don't know what the details are, but it seemed like he was grabbing his knee. I did see some of the reporters, some people saying that once he got closer to the locker room, it seemed like maybe he wasn't limping as badly. So really got to hope Kohou's okay, because that would be a huge loss. And then also BJ Adams, apparently towards the end of the practice, he got hurt. He walked off and then got carted off. So it just seems like the corner room is just, man, it just seems like the Dolphins are cursed in that area. No matter what they do, it's just something poorly is gonna go wrong. That's sort of the first thing. Yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah, our elite CB depth, yeah. Well, brought in Jack Jones. Hopefully Kohou's okay. If Kohou's okay, they'll be fine. I mean, BJ Adams, that sucks. I hope he's good too. I actually wanted to see him have a chance to at least fight for the team. But apparently the corners actually practiced pretty well today from all the reports that I was seeing. Like, a lot of guys were very competitive. We'll see. There's actually some interceptions today, so we'll get into that. Who got hurt? Kohou got hurt, but he walked off under his own power, so we don't know what that's like. And then BJ Adams got hurt. Apparently he walked off and then got carted off afterwards, so we don't know the exact details yet, but yeah, let's go over some of we'll start with Wingfield stuff, but then I'm going to go through all the Wingfield notes that he has here. He has a lot of stuff. Then I'll go through some of the other things people showed. I have some videos that we can look at towards the end. Okay, so first thing Travis Wingfield said, go check him out. First 3 reps of 1v1s. He said Tyree got separation on Minka, but Tua missed him. Duck was all over Waddle for a PBU, and then Kader strapped Azukanma. And then Tariq Black hauls in a long ball over Bonner, who was in good shape and coverage, but Black high-pointed it. Then he talked about Kohou went down in a rep. He went down in a rep against Tyreek in 1v1. I think I have a video of it, so I can show that in a bit. But was slow to get up. Jack Jones had a solid day. I saw some clips of him making plays on balls, and then other reports of him being very competitive at the catch point. I do think, truly, Jack Jones is probably the most talented corner on your roster. And I think he's a pretty good scheme fit. It's just some other things that have me concerned with him, Tua hit back-to-back touchdowns, one to Andrew Armstrong and a deep shot to AJ Hennings. I think those were one-on-ones, so take those with a grain of salt. What else we got here? Then the team period was underway. Seemed like lots of praise for Jordan Brooks as usual. He talked about him only being in for 6 to 7 reps, and he had multiple run stops. Jordan Brooks, one of the players I'm most confident going into this next season. I think Achane was the orange practice jersey today. Was Jack Jones live performance due to the Raiders, or did he just regress? I mean, I would say the year he had slightly a down year, but it wasn't I think usually he still made a lot of the same plays he usually did, but when they put him in press man, it's usually where he lacked. I wouldn't say press man is where he shines. But yeah, we can talk. I have the Jack Jones film breakdown is coming out right after this stream, so you guys can see my whole thoughts there. Can he play slot? No, Jack Jones is an outside guy. And definitely a ball hawk. Ball hawking, yeah. Yeah, Achane wore the orange jersey. He had another big run. Minka met him at the second level. Waddle season is here, baby. Appreciate you, Flem, for the super chat, my guy. Yeah, we'll see some big Waddle plays. I think Tyreek also had a big touchdown. We're gonna see some clips. Madison had a decent run. He said Zach Wilson rips a throw into the honey hole from the far hash, finds Eskridge over the curl flat defender. Another mention of rookie safety, John Saunders Jr. I don't know if Dante Trader was out there. I don't think he was because I didn't see any mention of him. And I know he missed practice yesterday. So this is John Saunders Jr. chance to, with the DB injuries happening, there's been multiple DB injuries. John Saunders kind of putting together some solid days. And he's one who has safety and nickel experience. He was one of the UDFAs they gave a nice guaranteed boost to. I thought he could have been drafted. Apparently he made another play. He's putting together a solid first week. Ewers tried Tariq Black on a deep shot, but Sanders went up and knocked it away. He got up the ground with a real primal scream, high-energy player. I like high-energy players. Tyndall and KJ Britt both had stops the line of scrimmage. Yeah, continuously talking about Jordan Brooks. Pretty common stuff. Jordan Brooks just always making plays. I mean, I'm not... Yeah. He said another good whip from Wilson on the ball in the middle. Armstrong had Elijah Campbell on his hip, but the ball was on the upfield shoulder. Benito Jones with a quick pass rush win on Andrew Meyer and is on a sack. So Benito Jones got a win on versus Meyer and got a sack on Tua. Willie Gay had another strong day. It seems like Willie Gay has been all over the field. I think he's going to see a lot of playing time. Even if he's not necessarily the starter, I think a lot of those linebackers will play. And I think Willie Gay is a nice weapon and will be used a lot in obvious passing situations where you can either rush him or use him in coverage, man-to-man. He got a quick swat on a quick throw from Tua looking for Reek. It seemed like he was like sort of near the line of scrimmage and got that sort of play. Said Patrick Paul swallowed up Chubb on a reach block, which gave the corner to Achane. That's kind of like, that's sort of what I'm looking for. The O-line is like, I think for the Daniels, Austin Jackson side, because now we know Paul's on the left side and Jonah. You got, like, I want to see, you know, both sides are pretty athletic, but you're trying to see like James Daniels, Austin Jackson create some movement, really do a good job of reach blocking on that right side. And that left side, you want that size for them to be able to like move people. But then I think, you know, I'm kind of worried about some of the little technical things with them. But if they can constantly hit some reach blocks, that's an exciting turnaround. And yeah, we bet. I forget who had Minka, but Minka did come away with the first interception. We'll look at the video in a second. But Minka had the interception, Chop turned the corner and Larry Borum, and probably has a big hit on Zach Wilson for a sack. But Zach takes a deep shot, and Minka Fitzpatrick comes away with the interception on Zach Wilson. Jackson's, yeah. I love Sanders tape for much more than Trader from an athletic standpoint. Well, I wouldn't say John Sanders was even super athletic, but yeah, he's more athletic than Trader. But I actually think Saunders is big too. I mean, I think they're actually both pretty similar. But we'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, Minka with the first pick. Jordan Phillips stacks a Ollie Gordon run. He beat Addison West on the play, had a nice stack and shed. Hewer hits Tariq Black on a quarter out that looked like a room service pick for Jason Marshall. Oh yeah, Jason Marshall had the second pick. See, Jason Marshall had a good day from what I've seen. He had a PBU and an interception. But then also Black did beat him on one, but Marshall was in a good spot. He just kind of mistimed the jump. Yeah, Grant had a nice play stopping the run on Jalen Wright. I don't know who he beat, but he had a nice play there. And I see Kenneth Grant getting mentioned. I'm more worried about the interior stuff, like I've talked about when the pads come on. I believe the pads come on Tuesday from what I saw, so that will be a big day. Wingfield said the defense was playing with a lot of fire and definitely won that first period. Anthony Weaver was leading the charge. Jack Jones reroutes Dwayne Eskridge, and under pressure, force it out quick. Jones gets back into phase, squeezes the window, incomplete. Pharaoh Brown had a nice block on an Alexander Madison run. It seemed like Madison had a strong day. First, I feel like we're really hearing about Madison making some plays. Armstrong had a PBU going against AJ Henning on a Zach Wilson throw. Marshall PBU, and then the interception. So he picked off Ewers, I believe. I wonder if we'll see that. That I haven't seen posted, but people were definitely giving that one shout-outs. I'll watch the video after, but what are your thoughts on Jones? I don't mind that. I like the signing more than, say, Rasul Douglas, because I think there's more upside there. And I feel like the leash will be shorter. The reason I like it is because I think the leash is shorter on, like, if Douglas plays, like if Douglas was here and didn't get injured, he would start the whole season, like similar to Poor last year, even if he wasn't playing well. I feel like Jack Jones, if he struggles or have any sort of off-field issues, they'd be willing to move on from him quicker. and I think he just has a higher upside than them. So it's like it's a high reward where like he can be a pretty good player for you, and if it doesn't work out, then I at least get to see the young guys play. Where like if you sign Douglas, I feel like you're just kind of sticking yourself with him. And he still has a lot of physical talent. I watched the film. He has a lot of physical talent. Tua hits a nice shot over to Waddle for 20. Next play, Sealer introduces Patrick Paul to his famous swim move. So Sealer got a win on Paul. Jack Jones with another rep, passing off coverage, flipping the hips, running the corner. Honestly, everything Wingfield is describing there is exactly what you see on film from his best plays. And he said Pat and Jonah were in unison passing off a game up front. So they did a good job passing. That's why I just want to see them build the chemistry. Like that's such an important thing, the offensive line that the Dolphins just haven't had, is guys actually be able to build chem off each other because they're just constantly rotating in and out. Grayson Murphy beats Ryan Hayes, heats up Ewers, which would have been a big hit. Long developing play action shot to Waddle from Tua, hit him for about 30. Achane with another big run. Tanner Connor apparently pancake blocked Kendall Sheffield downfield on the play. The defense, he said, was bringing a lot of heat, threw a lot of exotic blitzes at Tua, but he hung in there and found Waddle. Offense was settling in against these different things, but that defense is throwing a lot at them. Seemed more like Tua had some pretty good success. Are you doing a breakdown of Jack Jones? Yeah, I already recorded it. I already have it recorded. It's made. It's just members only right now, but right after the stream, I'm going to make it public for everyone. So you guys will see it after this. Willie Gay, another play. Like Willie Gay is making plays. He was all over the route to the outside from Ezukama, but apparently Wilson even found a completion. First mention of Ben Still. Oh, also a Monterey Baldwin touchdown. Monterey Baldwin apparently burned Cam Smith on a double move. Ewers timed it up well. Like hearing that, I'm a Baldwin fan. I liked Baldwin. It seems like he's made plays the last couple of days. We didn't hear mention of him early on, but it seems like since training camp started, he's got a couple mentions now, and he's a guy that I like, and I'm excited to see in preseason. Some of the UDFA's making stuff, and unfortunate that BJ Adams getting hurt, but we've heard mention of players, John Saunders Jr., Baldwin now. Some of the other receivers have gotten a couple mentions. Tua hit Tyreek for a 60-yard touchdown. I have that video. I'll show that after I read all this. Willie Gay had Achane dead to rights at the line of scrimmage, but Devon put his foot in the ground and gets all the way back to the outside, taking advantage of Pat Paul welling off Chubb for another explosive. And then he said Tua hits Waddle for another explosive, 20 yards in the air, 10 more after the catch. That was 4 straight plays of 20-plus yards to end practice, 3 of them probably home run touchdowns. So it seemed like defense had things early on, and then the offense later on in the practice definitely hit a bunch of explosives to finish it off. So nice little back and forth, like seeing that. I believe some interviews are happening. I think Nick Westbrook-Akine was getting interviewed. Here is a picture of... So here's actually a picture of a front that they have. You look at this, Chop off the edge, then Sealer lined up over the nose, it looks like, Chubb off the other edge, and Phillips standing up on the interior. I know we've talked about getting all of those 4 guys on the field in the 3 edges. I do think Phillips on the inside is actually the best way of doing it. I know you could probably do all 3 of them moved around, but I think Phillips is actually the best fit for that. And it allows you to get like one-on-ones with Chop off the edge. And Phillips has like still enough dominating physical presence to survive on the inside in those situations. So I like seeing that they're showing that at practice. That's one of the things I wanted to show. So that's good. That's the one that I was for sure. Could our team ever want to see Super Bowl win more than 31 teams? I hope so. People keep saying he's out, but all I hear is bad things from him. Smith, I mean. Who, Cam? Yeah, double moves. They're also Jack Jones' Achilles heel. Jack Jones is a risk taker, but at least he makes plays a lot too. Is Phillips bigger than Chubb? They're different builds, Different kind of sizes and builds. I actually think, I think Phillips is the best fit in the at least and he's got Phillips has the best range of them too. Like in his hustle is insane, and I feel like if you have him on the inside, with the other two on the outside, where I feel like they feel more comfortable. Man, scary group. Hear anything on Brunskill today? Nothing on Brunskill today. There was mention of him yesterday, but nothing on him today. Finished with burpees and push-ups. Yeah, they've been doing a lot of conditioning after practices. Heard Grant had a nice day. Yeah, a couple mentions of Grant. What happened to Cater? Cater got injured. He walked off the field under his own power, so we don't have all the details yet. Apparently, yeah, the O-line were hyping up the crowd. Jonah, Addison West, Josh Preeb, they did like a little bit of a wrestling routine. They were doing some swiping the hands drills. This is interesting that they show this. So I just want to show that it's nothing crazy, but you get Phillips doing something like swiping the hands, and then Chop, then Chubb, so your top edges, and then Minka comes and joins them, which I think is interesting. You know, him kind of ripping underneath, doing some drills. It seems like Minka, I mean, I saw he's represented by Drew Rosenhaus. I think he's going to want some sort of contract extension, because next year he has no guaranteed money on his contract. Like if they cut him next year without changing up his contract, like they would save whatever that is, like 18 million or something. I'm sure he wants some sort of new contract, but he's out there working, so gotta respect it. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, Phillips and Chubb hyped up the crowd. No, I went over that. No, that's one of them. Just a couple. Yeah, we can start going through clips. This is from Cash Money Fins on Twitter. He posted a lot of clips from the practice. Just some one-on-ones. I believe that's Tyreek versus, I can't tell, but Tua throwing the ball. Can't see what number that is. Is that 26? Yeah, just one-on-ones. I mean, that's where the receivers have the advantage, so I'm not too concerned about it. It's just nice to see some actual clips of the guys in action. Here's another one from Cash Money Fins. Tua to NWI. You know, some quick going on. Looks like the Dolphins. Kind of hard to see the full picture from this angle. NWI lined up on the outside, kind of wins with some physicality. Looks like the Dolphins are running some cover 1 in this play. Or, you know, maybe some cover 3 match stuff happening. Go. Can you see Jonah being an all-pro Pro Bowler his rookie year? I mean, I don't know. I mean, all-pro, no. Pro Bowl, you never know. Pro Bowl is a lot more obtainable, but I don't really care if as long as he just has a good season. Are you going in any practices? No, I wish. That would be sick. Maybe one of these years I got to get out there. Here's another one. Tua to Reek over here, 15-yard out. You know, some throws outside of the numbers, throw with anticipation. Tua delivering the ball as Tyreek's breaking. Hard to tell who that is out there on him, but kind of just want to go through these clips. Let's see. This one, I believe, is just a nice throw to Achane on an angle route. This was after they hit like a 20-yard play to Waddle, apparently. Achane's just a threat out of the backfield. Get him one-on-one, like, so many situations. Still a lot of same concepts that the Dolphins love to run. Nothing too crazy. I mean, they're not going to show up a ton of stuff. Oh yeah, this was one of the plays I mentioned earlier. This is the one where I think Marshall thought he was going to come down with it. Marshall 33 right here. And Ewers makes the touch throw to, I believe, Tariq Black. This is one of Ewers' strength, I think, is being able to make some touch throws. Sort of in that second level. He's not a great deep ball thrower, but he can make sort of these floaters near the sideline. He has a lot of similar strengths and weaknesses to Tua. Marshall just barely misses it, unfortunate. And then here, the Dolphins posted the Minka pick. Not a great angle, but I did see another view of it. They unfortunately just didn't show it was kind of a poor angle, but it was a Tampa 2. Actually, so that's how Minka finishes it. Maybe if I go back to the other one, I can, here it is. So here's the view of it. So I believe Minka's right here. So look at the coverage rotation. If we look at this, So I believe this is Patrick Morris right here, where my cursor is. I think this is Elijah Campbell, and I think this is Minka. But look at this coverage rotation. Look where they're lined up right now pre-snap. Dolphins love to do a lot of exotic looks. This is one of my favorite things that this defense did last year. So like seeing this. Look at the rotation. They end up going into Tampa 2, I think. So then Minka plays deep half. Elijah Campbell's the middle of the field, like Mike type of player. And then McMorris, not pictured, is the other deep half defender. And they try to hit this down the seam. And Minka comes away with a pick. You know, not a great angle there shown for the finish, but we at least saw the finish. I just love the movement that they're able to get on them. Also, if you look at Chop off the edge here. He's right here, 44. Look how fast he beats the right tackle and gets around the edge. Like, this would have been a sack. He wins so quickly. Lots to learn from these situations. Dolphins running some jet sweep action. Achan hand it around, get around the edge off Chubb. Looks like it was going to be a big play. Yeah, that's the play. Like, you can kind of see it, I think, right there. That's where Connor got his pancake block. Interesting. Marshall got the yips at Florida, but he's very talented. Oh yeah, Marshall's one of the most talented corners on the Dolphins. There was just certain things that he needs to improve upon, but yeah, I definitely have some decent feel about him. Any Caters news? Not as I've seen yet. But yeah, the BJ Adams was carted off the field after suffering an injury, was slow to get about to play, received some medical attention on the sideline before they got the card out. So man, hopefully he's good. Yeah. Rookie Andrew Armstrong is working out with Coach Robert Prince after practice, working on some footwork. Nice to hear that. Jalen Waddle on the defense. They're going to be very tough to move the ball on. That's a quote that he said. He's getting interviewed. Cornell Armstrong's getting interviewed right now. Hey, let's see. It looks like to Ashton, Nick Westbrook, Benito. Looks like those guys are getting some interview action. Oh yeah, here's the Tua to Tyreek bomb. This was, I believe, the biggest play of the day, it looks like. So we got some play action going on here. Looks like the Dolphins are in some cover 3. And Tyreek gets behind Ashton Davis. And I believe that's Storm Duck at corner. Ashton just sits on it too much. See, this is where the Dolphins got to be able to take the shot. Is because, like, you can see how Ashton plays this, where he's trying to sit on this right there to take away the middle of the field. And, you know, Dolphins usually take advantage of this spot, but they got to be able to hit that ball over the top. Tua resets. Good job by the O-line, and then he hit Tyreek for the big play. This is like, you got to be able to play action, reset. I'm trying to see who that is. He does a good job on Chubb in that specific scenario. No one's able to create, and then Tua hits a nice rip down the field. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's the play. This is the play Cater got injured on right here versus Tyreek. And it looks like he was holding his knee after the fact. He at least did get up off his own power and walked, so hopefully he's fine. Because Cater going down would be a huge loss, because not only is he the guy in that room with the most starting experience, and like one of the only he plays both inside and outside, and like the Dolphins don't have a lot of slots that I feel about a lot of the guys that on this roster that I feel like at least can take a jump. Most of them are outside corners, so that would be a devastating loss. Also wanted to show this chart because this was posted yesterday, I believe, yeah, by Benjamin Solik. I just thought this was crazy. So this is a time to throw on 10 plus air yard targets. So the time to throw is up here. The most is Josh Allen, and he's like in between 4 seconds and 3.5 seconds. And then all the way at the bottom, look at Tua. By far the least amount of time to throw on 10 plus air yard targets. Like, it's not just him getting rid of the ball quickly on short throws. He gets rid of the ball quickly on balls that are down the field. And the rest of the Dolphins quarterbacks are usually in like this area, like where these guys are. So they're so low, but it's clearly like it's mostly a a Tua thing. I just thought that chart was crazy. Hassan Patel, he's from, I think he does stuff with 5 Reasons Sports. He even tweeted out saying, he said, Ewers and Wilson are better than Thompson/Huntley, but still steps slow. Yeah, that's what my sort of thing. I think the backups are better and better fits for what the Dolphins are trying to do, but I still, wouldn't feel great about them in the game. He says, I foresee a Minka extension with how he played today. I think Minka's going to be great in this system. And he said Weaver was tinkering with different concepts. Obviously, they can't say what all that is, but one of the things I'm most excited about this year, other than certain individual players, is the different defensive concepts. We're going to go break down that a lot throughout the year, I think, is each week. What was Weaver sort of mixing in against different teams? I believe this was a Jack Jones play. I forget where he's lined up. He might be this corner right here at the bottom. I think he kind of loses early on, but recovers right here. Yeah, loses, but then gains ground, knocks the ball out. This is press man. I wouldn't say this is where Jones is his strongest, though. I think off man, in zone, especially as the cloud, you'll see the video if you watch the film breakdown. He's much more comfortable in those situations, and I think he can fit because if you watch a lot of the situations he lost where he had negative plays on the Raiders is him taking a risk. And then the Raiders didn't get a quick pressure, and then it turned into a big play. I think if the Dolphins are able to create quick pressures, force the ball out quickly, that will allow Jones to take more advantage of his strengths, because he is definitely more in that sort of thing. Nick Westbrook-Akini says he has no trouble playing with a lefty QB since he worked with Michael Penix in college, which is cool. I didn't realize that. Let's see. Oh, apparently Tua's getting interviewed after practice by NFL Network. I'll have to check out that interview. Storm Duck talking about the room. Yeah, I think that's all the clips that I'm seeing here. But yeah. I can answer what you guys were saying. Sorry, I was going through a lot there. Heard Andrew Armstrong was making. Yeah, I've seen Andrew Armstrong's name brought up the last couple of days, making some catches. Unfortunately, haven't gotten to see any clips yet, but Armstrong's one of the UDFAs I'm most excited for, especially this preseason. Yep, Saunders been balling. Nice to hear. And I think if the DB room continues to get hurt, that will raise his chances drastically of making the team. Yeah, Madison had a decent day. I'm not super high on Madison, but personally, if it was up to me, I would only keep 3 running backs and the fullback, so I would keep 4 in the room. I still think the Dolphins have pretty much always kept 4 running backs and the fullback, so that ends up being 5. So they'll probably keep Madison and Gordon and Achane and Wright, obviously. But if it's up to me, I'd probably move on from Madison. I think if you do have some injuries at running back, you can find running backs, off the practice squads and stuff like that are similar levels. 150. Oh yeah, we got a lot of people in here. This is like crazy amount. Yeah, leave a like, helps out with the pushing it out in the algorithm. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you check out I'm going to probably end here pretty soon, but the Jack Jones film breakdown right after this. I tore my ACL 4x time when you tear your meniscus, you grab your knee. Yeah, but he did walk off the field, and they said his limp got less and less as he was walking, so that doesn't mean it could be bad. I'm hoping it's not, though. Ethan Robinson. Yeah, I think Ethan Robinson out of the UDFAs has some slot capability. And with the BJ Adams injury, that, he's kind of the UDFA to watch out for now in the corner room. No Minka extension, but guaranteed money. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I'm not sure how the contract, the work is going out, but I feel very confident in Minka's play. Okay. Sorry, I'm skipping stuff. Right, and we won't even Madison. I don't know. We cut him down. We got money because Gordon taking over his role. I mean, I would do that. I don't know if they will. I think they're going to keep all of them. Yeah, I agree with Dundee. Brunskill will play everywhere, but I think mostly will be a backup guard. Speculation is BJ was concussed. I mean, I hope it's nothing major. Concussions can be obviously major, but that means he'll probably come back. Maybe Wright was being in had to do with the fact that he's been practicing with second. Maybe Wright being invisible? I don't think Wright's being invisible. I think he's been, from what I've seen, I mean, I didn't hear anything about him today, but every other practice, it's been like he's been one of the standouts. So, at least according to Wingfield. I feel like Wingfield's talking about Jalen Wright more than anyone. I would hate to see Minka get extended before Steeler. I mean, they're both under Rosenhaus now, so I'm sure they both can get done. Yeah, Saunders can't play corner, though. He has nickel experience. If you watch his Ole Miss film, he played a majority of his snaps last year at nickel. So, he's not an outside corner, but like he can play as like a big nickel. He can play safety. If he can play nickel at the NFL level, that gives him a way better chance of making the team. Yes, Jack Jones is a gambler. What's up, Barry? How you doing? It was hot today. Maybe just a cramp. Yeah, who knows? They said he got Are you talking about Adams? He got carded, and it didn't look like Cater's was a cramp. 5 days until football. Oh yeah, the Hall of Fame game's on Thursday, right? It's the Hall of Fame game, and then after that, I believe August 10th is the Dolphins' first preseason game. Very excited for that because then we'll have some film to actually break down. We'll get to see these rookies in action for the first time, the UDFAs in action for the first time. We'll get to see some other guys that we really want to see, that like, maybe some second-year guys that we didn't get to see enough from last year. Players that are fighting for spots. That's always the most, like, it's obviously preseason. People look at preseason and think it doesn't matter, but it matters a lot when it comes to like building out your team, and guys can really find spots in the NFL in the preseason. My biggest concern on the team right now is backup tackle. Any news on guys like Keon Smith or Bourne? I heard Keon Smith had a pretty good day yesterday. I believe Bourne got beat by Chop today. Saunders runs a 4.5, if I'm not mistaken, why he dropped. Yeah, but 4.5 for a safety is fine. See, he had a lot of on-ball production. I feel like he should have been drafted late. Like that's probably like, but sometimes guys who think you think are going to get drafted in the 5th, 6th, 7th go UDFA. It happens all the time. But yeah. Any other questions? I'll definitely have to check out this Tua getting interviewed by NFL Network. That will be interesting. Yeah, Kyle Krabs was talking about Willie Gay, saying he was one of the most active back 7 defenders all week. Hot start for him. It really feels like Willie Gay has been one of the standouts, and I know he's a high energy guy. And I know after last year, where for the Saints he was like kind of a starter, rotational guy, mixed throughout the season. The second linebacker spot is wide open, and while I have said I do think all 3 of them will play at some point and play in different spots, I wouldn't be surprised with how Willie Gay's camp is starting if he gets the first crack at it and is really the starter or plays the most snaps after Brooks. Because he does have a very unique skill set, very athletic. But God, biggest hope for today is Cater is good, and it's nothing major. Because the Dolphins need Cater. Definitely need Cater. Okay, here's another clip. Tua to Waddle, different angle. Tua, Waddle over here. Didn't get to see enough of this today, but I know him and Waddle connected for some nice plays down the field, kind of working off the screen. Another deep out route. Damn, hope he's good. Jack Jones is talented. I feel like he's mostly a press man corner. Oh, I feel the opposite. I feel like he's worse in press man. In my film breakdown, you'll see that like pretty much almost all the touchdowns he gave last year were him getting beaten press man. Sorry, just jumped in. Did Kohu get hurt? Yeah, we don't know what it is yet. The best way to use the 3 is chop over the center. He's the fastest, so the center won't be able to handle him. I mean, I don't mind that either, but I do believe Phillips is the best at it. I mean, they all can win with their quickness, but I think getting Chop isolated off the edge on a tackle is actually the best way to utilize that because he can create space. And Phillips is also extremely quick. And I also think he can play better without, because I think Phillips can create more power without his speed, and it's harder to get speed to power on the interior. So I think Phillips is better for the role, and he can cross face really well. A lot of Phillips' best reps actually come from the interior, and he also has the best hustle of the 3. And if you're in the interior and guys start to escape the pocket out to the side, Phillips has really good chase down speed, and I think that's why they lined him up like that. Yeah, joint practices will be fun. Any rumors on Keenan Allen? I mean, I hope the Dolphins aren't interested. I think Malik and Westbrook will both be absolutely fine for that role, and both will play. Like you asked who wide receiver 3 is. I don't think it really matters. I think they're both going to play similar amounts because they're very different players, and will both be on the field around the same time. Saints misused Gaze. They used him mostly as an edge. Well, they moved him around, but it just depends because as an off ball, I can see not wanting him as a true off ball because like there are certain reads you have to make that I think he struggles with, especially versus the run, and getting him on the edge makes his reads more simplified. And he actually had a lot of success playing more as like that edge overhang type of role. You just got to be able to get him into coverage too. Which sucks because isn't that we were trying to run more of press man? I think they're trying to run more press man, but even teams that run a lot of press man, it's still like they run it 30% of the time, you know? So even though I think we're going to run more press man, I still think the Dolphins are going to run a lot of plays where their guys are off the ball. They're still playing a lot of Tampa 2. From the clips we saw today, they played a lot of cover 3 and cover 2 in those clips, and that's what they ran most of last season. So, and I'm sure they're going to just try to get their guys in the best spot. I would sign Hilton. Oh, if Cater's hurt, yeah, I would sign Mike Hilton. But hopefully he's fine. Mike Hilton's the best nickel on the market. Well, apparently the corners have had some pretty good days against the Dolphins receivers. That's a decent sign. But yeah. Fun stuff. I'm trying to see if there's anything else being reported. I don't think so. But yeah, you guys are still here. Check out the Jack Jones film breakdown. I'm gonna make it go live right after I end this. So honestly, screw it. Okay, I'm gonna end this and make it literally go live. Let me go to my YouTube studio. Boom, boom, boom. Then we go here. And okay, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Check out the Jack Jones film breakdown.